We are now 765 yards below the surface of the Earth.
For centuries, coal was king, powering the nation through times good and bad, the force behind the Industrial Revolution, propelling Britain to the status of global superpower. That era now comes to an end as the UK's last coal power station shuts its doors for good. The closure of the Ratcliffe-on-Soar plant means the UK will become the first G7 nation to bring an end to coal-powered electricity, following through on climate commitments made by previous governments.
We're powering our country through an out-of-date, inefficient grid and ageing, polluting power stations. We need to replace the coal plants, invest in modern gas power and affordable renewable energy.
Coal's demise comes from a desire for clean energy, because coal is the most environmentally damaging fuel. When it's burned, it releases more carbon dioxide than oil or gas. And burning coal also creates small particles of soot and produces toxic elements like mercury and arsenic. In 2010, coal alone generated almost a third of the UK's electricity. You can see here on this yellow line that 13 years later, coal accounted for barely 1.2%. You can also see a massive increase in the use of renewable energy sources like wind and solar in that time period. In the latest figures from the National Grid, coal accounted for just 0.2% of the country's energy, a rapid and, some experts say, unprecedented transformation.
30% of the world's CO2 comes from coal power plants. So for the UK to actually lead on this internationally, to be the first major country to phase out coal power, really was important in international context. The whole of the developed world is now following closely behind.
Leaving coal behind is undeniably a positive step forward in terms of the environment, but for many across the country, it has been much more than just an energy source.
We're finished, son. What choice have we got, eh?
Coal meant community and culture, with whole towns built around mining it. When Margaret Thatcher's government announced plans to close 20 coal pits in 1984, 3/4 of the country's miners went on strike in one of the most defining moments of the UK's industrial history. Some of those communities told us that an end to this era brings mixed emotions.
You used to get up in the morning, go to work. You could actually walk to work and back because you lived in the same village. So out of each one of these villages, what's said a coal mine, you've got your communities all together on the surface, but when you went underground, those communities transferred to underground. It really is a bittersweet pill. One is, I've loved my mining career and it's sad to see the end of the era, but then again, I also recognise that we have to move on and make the world a greener and safer place.
So it's farewell coal and the start of a new chapter in British energy.